Resume. Recording. Okay, we're recording again, and I hope everybody is coming back. All righty, so we have some questions here. Week 14 paper, I put in there. It's about one of your best decision. Talk about one of your decisions. Week 15 is a summary for each week, right? Week 16 is divided into 3 parts, right? Your personal life, your academic decision, and your career, right? Each paper, all 3 of the papers that are due, you can follow and submit the rubric with your response in each, right? So just make sure you get a cover page on it. Now, I checked it, all 3 of them, and they're okay, right? I would like to go over the final paper as soon as we're done with the PowerPoint. So we'll be done with the PowerPoint in about 5 to 10 minutes. And then I'm going to go over the final paper, right? And I'm going to go take the one that is in there. I hope that's okay with everybody. I feel like I'm talking to myself again. So can I have an answer? Anybody just want to unmute themselves to say yes? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Jamie. It's good. And this is a good thing here to that just hit me too. If you don't like a grade, like I put a grade in for participation last week, and there wasn't everybody who put in the picture perfect. So if you want to tell me you were at the, you don't like that, send me a text. We'll talk about a grade, okay? Because I'm here to have you make decisions correctly and get the best grade ever. So if you have something that you need to do, then just tell me about it, okay? So we will work that out. Text me. It'll be a private thing. And there's some people that have already texted me. And so next break, let's make a phone call. Okay. From Stephanie to everybody, number 20. Oh, I don't know why, it just kind of came up. All right. So I'm going to pull the paper up. I finish the PowerPoint and then pull the paper up. All right, see, we're almost there. We don't have very many slides. So that was what review 14 was about. The rest of these slides are just review. They're methods to make phenomenal decision making. They're basically identify your goal or what you want to solve, gather as much information as you can, look at it from all different perspectives, consider the consequences of what you're going to do.
Professor, we can't see your screen.
Oh, you can't see my screen? Oh, thank you for saying that. Because, you know, I just get kind of on the spacey side, and I think everybody can see what I see.
It's okay, thank you.
All right, share. All right, we're sharing, all right? I finally got it right. You know, sometimes I just don't like when my brain jumps around. All right, there we go. Here we go, next slide, 8 steps. See the difference between 5 steps, 8 steps, all right? So what is the difference? Well, they put in these different words. Remember, language is used to manipulate, used to persuade, used to compare and contrast. So they put the nature of the problem. Instead of just saying the problem, they want you to figure out why you have the problem, and research it is another step. That's step 3. Develop solutions. So it's a little bit longer. They stretch if the word problem can come out as elastic. You're stretching the word problem out. You list the pros and cons. You accept the best approach for your hypothesis. You execute your choice. You implement your choice. And then once you've done whatever you wanted to, how you solve your problem, you have to evaluate it. And I like the word communicate. You communicate what you did with yourself and with others. So that was one that I thought would be another good way to solve problems. Make the right decision. And here's 6, 7 methods. They most say the same thing you describe, but as you can see, they have make sure, where is it? Make sure you have description is specific, easy to understand, and sufficient. Then they have create potential solutions, which is the same thing. You need to brainstorm here. Can you brainstorm by yourself? Yeah, you can ask an expert, but I give you caution when you ask an expert. Make sure that that expert doesn't only have one perspective and research only their perspective. Because if they do, they have confirmation bias. So use your own intuition, especially if the expert is using confirmation bias. So what would that be? That would making the problem come out to how they want it to be. So you collect the information, the potential solutions. There's very different methods. You look at those, you evaluate all your options before you choose one, choose the best one. The more reversible it is, the less careful you have to be about it when you're choosing. So look at all the different ways, take action, create a plan, make sure, this one says your headache in the long term, make sure you can do all this, take the action and evaluate the impact. Always look at how it's going to affect others, just not you, because we don't live in a world by yourself. I'm trying to make this one smaller. There you go. Just look at this. We could use this day. We could have gone all 14 weeks, just got today and did it all. Define the problem, look at alternatives, evaluate the alternatives, make the decision, implement, monitor the solution. Now we could put it all into 6. So there are so many different ways to solve problems, but they're basically all the same. It's all in language. All right. This one I like because it says 5 steps to successful decision-making process. Be ready for the worst. So here is a perspective. If you're ready for the worst, what does that mean? How are you going to look at the situation? Right? Then it says seek the right data. Make sure that you don't have confirmation bias. Make sure that it's going to suit what you need. Then here, take expert advice, and I just told you about experts. Make sure the expert is really an expert in that. They've looked at it from all different angles. Keep your ego and emotions aside, right? This does play a lot into some of your decisions, and don't avoid delay. When you avoid delay, you're making a choice by not making a choice, right? So that's another method. This one I like. This one has like really a lot to it, and it just is making it more 7 steps, but they're identifying the problem, you gather it, you look at all alternatives, you predict the immediate and the long-term consequences, you make your best choice from there, you act on it, and then you have to evaluate it. What would you do differently? Perfect. Here's another one. These are a couple more. These are all about the problem. When you have a problem, you just can't say, oh, this is a problem, and not look at it from all the different angles. Here are the key issues. And who is the problem for? Is it for yourself or for others? for a non-living thing or living? And what are the social and cultural factors that shape the problem? So if I was in a different continent, would the problem be the same, especially for environmental ones? What evidence do you have that this is worth putting any time in it, any money into it, your personality into it? Is it worth the investment of solving this problem? And can you think of the problem in a different way? Can you reframe it? And this one I liked is because it says, what is your, how big is your problem? Is it something that you need to decide on right away? Is it a small problem? Is it a big problem? This is how you want to invest in it too, isn't it? So this is taking a look at your problem and sizing it. Then they have it, what will be your reaction? Okay. If it's small, is it big? You need to figure out what your reaction is to the problem. And this one I thought was really good because you're looking at emotions here, is how you approach the challenge. How do you interpret it, find it? What do you create? How do you build your idea? How do you prove that you have a good idea? So these are all things you need to look at when you're making a decision. And then here is the 5 whys. This is especially for a problem. If you have a problem of wearing a mask, or why do you have the problem? Is it because you don't like the way you look in it or breathe in it? And why is that a factor then? So let's say you're going outside and you're going to exercise wearing a mask. Well, why is that a problem? You're going to be running. Do you need to wear it when you're running if you're not by anybody? You need to keep getting it as very specific as you can, because that's going to come out with the root cause. And that's when you just start to develop your research. So my research, if I'm doing this while I exercise, why I'm wearing a mask, I get to the root cause. So usually ask 5 whys. If you're studying, why do you need to study? What don't you understand? Ask yourself, why? We'll get down to it. And this is, I found, for healthcare, what you need to do before somebody visits you, and how you have a situation and you're going to be making the decision. Well, here's some things that you need to look at. Here's some things for a patient. Listen to them, assess the patient's level of motivation. What are their barriers to follow the healthcare plan? Ask the outcomes. Following the visit, attain the feedback from them. And if they're going to have to come back again, listen to the patients, talk to other people, and then gather information about the patient. I believe that is, and here's my last one, is what is ask many questions and be a data gatherer, get good feedback. So that's it for this week 14. Now what I'm going to do is go over the paper, the final paper, okay? Not next week, okay? Final paper, and that is in the final one. So each week does have the right papers in. Yosef, make sure you look at that. If there's any confusion on the paper, if you hand in any other paper of the 3, if you hand in week 15 and week 14, week 13 and week 14 and 15, that's fine with me. I'll give you the credit, all right? So I'm going to switch over the share to the paper. Anybody have any questions? Okay, I'm going into checking the chat. No questions, okay. So now we're going into new share. So we're going to share the paper. Okay. Okay. I needed to use a word, all right? The word I needed to use was this. Can you see this? Make sure before I go start talking on it.
Yeah, we can see it.
Oh, good. I got it right. This eases. I'm not sweating under the arms anymore. Okay, armpits. All right. Final presentation. I had to use this word presentation because this class, all classes, we have to have a presentation due. So can you turn this in as I have to have a group presentation? This is individual. So I use the word presentation. You can use this as a PowerPoint, right? If you want to make this into a PowerPoint, perfect. If you want to make it into a paper, perfect. Can you fill out the rubric again and submit the rubric with your words? Perfect. All right. In other words, whatever you do, perfect. This paper is replacing two things, the final, and I'm making it 100 points. Okay, so this paper, you do not take a final, right? If you really want to take the the final exam, go ahead. That's fine. But this paper replaces it, and I think it's better. If it's not and you really want to do the final, just text me and say, hey, I really, really want to do the final. I love MindTap. Let me do it. All right? Then go ahead and do it. But I need to see that you do the MindTap. Okay, is there any questions on that? Okay, so the paper is divided into 3 sections: academia, personal, and career. You're going to repeat, the rubric repeats itself. Okay, so there are 3 sections of this paper. There's the academic. You're going to fill out how you made decisions for your 1 academic goal. Your personal, 1 academic goal. Your career, 1 career goal. It's going to be all the same. You're going to follow the same questions, but they're just going to change the word, academic, personal to career. What happens if you already turned in your career decision in week 14? Because week 15 is a summary, week 14 is a personal decision. That's okay. It's okay by me. All right. If you make the decision to turn in your week 14 paper as one part of your final presentation paper, is that okay with me? Yes. All right. So I'm going to repeat that and ask you if you understand that. So week 14, you choose your decision making was on a car, personal. You want to turn that in for a week for your final right here. That's okay, making a car. If you decided you wanted to talk about week 14 about choosing Brookline, choosing something here, that's okay. You wanted to choose why you went into oncology or dentistry or whatever for here for your week 14 paper, then you just have to tweak it towards this one. Okay, the word here is tweak. I didn't use that. You tweak your week 14 paper for 1 section here. Any questions on that?
Not yet.
Not yet, yeah. Not yet, I like that. And I'm Joseph, if you're still there, you have a very good, all of you have very good critical minds. You have a little different perspective. I shouldn't say little. Your perspective is different than mine. And so you have questions, so I like it. I like being questioned because I need to be clear. All right, so this is going to help you self-improve. Even at 67, I still need to self-improve. So I need this. That's why this paper is. It's going to go over your goal setting for today from 10 years. A decision, you can go over any of your decisions. You're only going to list one in each one of these sections: academic, personal, career. One could have been 10 years ago you made it when you bought a house, 10 years ago when you decided to become in healthcare, 5 years last year, or even today. How the course has affected your decision making. So you're reflecting on a decision you made 10 years ago. Has the course made you realize that you followed all these steps? Okay, it did. How can you improve your fun at each level? The word fun is in here because I want you to have fun with this assignment. I don't want this assignment to be a drudgery. I don't want it to be something that you think, oh my God, it's just something I have to do. I want you to have fun with it. We're going to talk about your happiness level. The reason we're talking about that in each one of your academic, personal, and career is because my main goal is for you to be positive, happy, fulfilling your life goals. If you are stressing and you're depressed about something, then talk to me. Let's have it. Let's create happiness in your life with whatever your career, personal, and academia life is. We're going to talk about your good habits. We're going to talk about your negative habits. We're going to talk about what new habits you can be to be successful in each one of these sections. How do your decisions affect other people, your relationships in your life? How did you feel before you made an academia decision, a personal, and a career? So these are basically what's going to happen with this. So here's a rubric. Again, you just take the rubric and you just type in here, okay? So if you can't type it in, just erase here. Here is your goal. It must be a SMARTer goal. What is a SMARTer goal? Is you have to give me an exact goal. So I believe I would need to write that somewhere. All right, a SMARTer goal is that you have it specific. Becoming a healthcare person is not or deciding to go to Brookline. That's a pretty specific goal. But deciding to go to Brookline, that's specific. It has to be measurable. You want the degree. So you're going to say, I'm going to go to Brookline for my academic. I'm going to get a degree, and it's going to need a date because that is, let's see, SMARTer means is specific, it's measurable, you're going to get the degree, it is achievable because you're going to study, you know how to study, you know how to get good grades, it's going to be relative to you because you're going to improve your life, you're going to help others, and it's going to be timely. You're going to give me a date if you're saying to go into Brookline, okay? So you're going to graduate in June of 21. Okay, there's a date. You're going to evaluate it afterwards by seeing if you accomplished it, and you're going to reward yourself by having a graduation party, okay? So here are some of the things that you're going to do with each of these, okay? So we're going to, this is academia. So we're just going to talk about going to Brookline. Well, what was the process you decided on paying for your education? How did you pay for it? Well, you decided to take out a student loan for 50%. Your parents decided to pay for 50%. You are going to take out the student loan and you have a career, so you don't, I mean, you're in education, so you don't have to pay for a student loan until after you graduate. You're going to use 30% of your income to pay for your education. What process did you use to decide and the cost acquired for books, laptop, printer, paper, gas, such to go? Okay, so you needed a babysitter. How did you pay for that? It's not included in the student loan. Well, maybe you had free babysitting, right? Maybe you paid the babysitter and it wasn't free, but then you watched their child for a certain amount of time, okay? Printer, you didn't have to buy one, you found a used one. Study time, I want that to be known. You decided to study between specific time. I would go to class on Mondays from 12 to 3:30. And while I was listening to my professor, Holly Capo Whiting, talk, I was so bored, I did my assignments while I was listening to her. I did mind tap, whatever. You can work it out, be exact. How the course was affected by your, how course affected your decision. It taught me to be specific. There you go, use that one. You just got 8 points. How was your stress level when you were attending Brookline? Well, I had to drive. The lectures, really 3-hour lectures and all my courses, just really ate up my time. It made me more stressed. I would say it was relatively high. What if it wasn't? You say it was relatively low because of this, all right? How can you improve your stress level? Well, you can use some techniques as being time management better, knowing, let's say, this was written when people drove to Brookline, you know, going online, getting better equipment, whatever. How can you improve the fun? That is something that you just have to, for deciding to go to Brookline, is you could have gone there and looked at it, which maybe you did. You could make connections with people that work there. What is the happiness level in 10, 5 years, last year and today, your future? The happiness level is going to increase when you get, after you graduate, isn't it? There you go. It could be a 10 when you graduate. Stuff like that. What are your good habits in regard to academia? I study at specific times. What are your negative habits? I procrastinate. How are you going to, what new habits are you going to do to be successful as choosing your academia? Well, I'm going to be more disciplined. I am going to set a timer. I am going to make sure I say no to my friends. I'm going, you know, stuff like that. How does your academic goals affect others in your life? Well, if you're going to bring home a bigger income and you have children, there you go. You're going to create a better life for them. In your conclusion, there you just write a conclusion to it, right? I have, yeah, all right, there you go. So does everybody understand about your academia? Do you have any questions in there? If you do, unmute because I'm not going into the chat. Okay. So your career, okay, your goal setting must be smarter goals again. So what is your career? My career is to become a oncologist. You're going to be very specific. You're going to study a type of lung cancer and you want to become an oncologist nurse only working with chemotherapy. That's pretty specific, isn't it? Is it measurable? Yes, it is measurable because there is a certain specific, and I don't know the name of an oncologist nurse that only works with chemotherapy right now. I don't know that name, but you can find that out. Put that down. Very specific. So is it achievable? Yes, this is achievable because you can, you're going to get a job in a clinic from an oncologist. Write down the names where you want to work. That's even more specific. That'll work. Is it relative to what you do? Yes, it is relative because that's what you have a passion of helping people. Works like that. Time, you're going to set this date. You're going to work in your profession. You're going to give yourself 1 month after you graduate. So that would be in July of 21. Or maybe what you want to do here in goal setting is you want to first become a medical assistant in that office. You're going to check that out. So will this goal work for you in 10 years from now? Okay. What process did you use to decide on it? I used I gathered data. I looked at all the different other types of oncology. I settled on the lungs because I have some relatives that died of lung cancer, something like that. Tell me how you were deciding on it. You eliminated going into pediatrics because you didn't like that. So just tell me some of your decisions here. What are the costs of going into oncology? Can you do it online? Are you going to have to buy any equipment? Here I said clothes, gas, and equipment. What do you need? What skills do you need to be an oncologist nurse and doing chemotherapy? Well, you're going to have to know, going to have to be compassionate. You're going to have to be patient. You're going to have the skill of starting IVs, I would think. And I think there's a question, I'm not sure. Sorry, Chris, I had to leave early. Okay, no problem. Those are the skills you're going to need. List some of the skills because I want you to realize what your career that you are choosing, what skills you need so you can focus on them for the next couple of years before you actually work in your career, unless you're already working in it. I'm going to go down. How much time are you going to devote to your career? Okay. Are you going to devote any time into your academia looking at your career? So what does that mean? Are you going to research the different types of oncology if you're going into oncology? Are you going to look at different pediatrics? So if you're going to be a neonatal nurse, are you going to look at specific things in there? And did the course affect your decision-making in your career? Did the course make you look at more specifics or whatever? This could be almost the same answer as academia. What is your stress level in your career? Is it going to be really high, and how are you going to deal with that? How can you improve your stress level in a career that is going to be pretty demanding if you're going to be in oncology, neonatal, Maybe that's why you want to work at a doctor's office instead of working in the hospital and being a floor nurse and being a nurse on the oncology floor. How can you improve the fun in oncology? You know, that's kind of a dismal you're helping people at the end of their lives. Well, I'm asking you, if you're choosing that, how are you going to have fun? Well, you need to have a positive outlook with oncology. So you would have to say, well, I'm helping people. I get to see the people that survive. Maybe you have fun digging into finding new things. Maybe it's being creative and solving some of your patients' other type of problems with oncology, with lung cancer. Maybe you're helping them, with one of the problems they have about being a respirator. Maybe that's going to be your fun. That's okay. That's having fun that way. You need to look at fun as a different perspective, creative wise, to have fun in that career. And then we're going to talk about your happiness in career. Well, you're helping people survive. And what are your good habits in a career like this? In pediatrics, well, a good habit is, again, you could use the same ones that you use in academia. You're timely, you're compassionate, you know how to, you don't get angry. Your negative habits is you pay attention to detail would be a good habit to have in oncology nurse in a career. Negative habits, again, would could really put things off. Maybe you're disorganized a little bit. You have to be more organized. And what are your new habits that you want to be successful in your career? Well, you want to understand it, all the different parts of chemotherapy. Maybe you'll come up with, I don't think chemotherapy is going to be around in 5 to 10 years from now, where they, chemotherapy takes 5 to 6 hours a session at a time where you're there. So, and just a conclusion to your career, you're going to be happy in your professional life because of why? You're helping people. It's basically just looking at this from different perspectives. In your goal setting, again, here is the most important in your personal life. Where do you want to be 5, 10 years from now? Oops, I just dropped my Yeti. Made a noise. This is personal. Maybe you want it going to be about your status, your economical status. Maybe it's about your relational status. Maybe it's with children. Where do you want to be? So again, it has to be specific. It has to be measurable. It has to be achievable. It has to be relative to what you're doing. You have to have timely. And so maybe your personal goal is to have a car. Maybe you want to have a Maserati. Maybe you want to have 5 kids. Maybe you want to be, which is kind of like a career goal, be manager. That would be more career. Maybe you want to live in a certain area. Those would be that. And then again, here we go. What is the process you use to decide on this life? What is the cost of your hobbies? So your personal life is more about your hobbies than it is about your career. So let's say you decide that in your personal career, you want to be personal life, you want to be a use glass and melt glass and become have a hobby of glass making. There is a big cost in that. Maybe your hobby is, like I said, a Maserati car. Big choice. Maybe it is your personal life was to own a home. And what is the cost of owning your home? It's not hobby here, but what is the cost of your personal decision? You don't have to tell me it was, $2 million. It cost me a lot. I needed to get paint. I needed to change the carpet out to tile, that kind of stuff. How much time are you going to spend looking for a home? How much time are you going to be spending to look for the car? How much time are you going to spend on your hobby? Let's say you wanted to talk about a hobby that you're going to have. So you want to have this hobby. Are you going to spend 2 hours a week or 15 hours a week on your hobby? And how has the course affected your decision making on your personal life? Again, what is your stress level? If you're very stressed in your personal life, this is where this is coming to play more than it is on the other ones. How can you improve your stress level? This is with mindfulness, meditation, taking hikes, taking walks, exercising, looking at a perspective from out of body type experience. How can you improve their fun in your life? We could all go to Disney World when it's open, right? So we could have a field trip there, something like that, the happiness level. What are your good habits? What are your negative habits? And what do you want to do to be successful in your personal life? Okay? So I have a conclusion. If you notice, you need a conclusion in each one of these and submit it on time. You get 10 points submitted before, I think it's December 12th or 13th. I have to look at my calendar. Hold on. It has to be submitted before December 13th, right? So that's when it's due. Any questions on this? Any question? Joseph, are you okay on this? If you're still there? All righty. I still have
Yeah,
7.
Professor,
You're good? Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. If you have questions coming up on this or you want to change something, I'm good. I can change this if you want. If you think it's too personal, remember, I'll quickly read it and I'll forget because I'm reading 20 of them. So no problem. All right. Due December 13th. What if you turned it in today? Excellent. All right. You just have to come in to the, to these lectures still. You have to do that. That's for accreditation boards. Anybody have any other questions?
No, thank you for going over it with us.
Well, yeah, thank you for participating in that and saying that. This is, I think this is a good one for you. For me, I wish I would have done this when I was younger. I didn't I made some good choices when I was younger, but this would have helped me make better choices, I believe. And that's what I want. This is all for you. This course is for you, not for me. So that's good. All righty. So we need to take another break. It's 2:30. How about 2:45? Sound good?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you for doing that. So I'm going to again go off camera, stop video. It caught me chewing. I'm back. I was just chewing an apple. Oh boy. Okay, now we are back. Okay, somebody back. Everybody's back. Yeah, okay. Now, what I am thinking is if anybody has any questions about decision making, the papers, whatever, we're having an open thing right now. And then I'm going to play a video. I think in that last PowerPoint I had to pull that up, but I had videos on every page, every slide. So I'm just going to do that. And unless somebody has a question, and I'm checking the chat. Any questions? No. All right. How many of you are going to turn in week 14 paper now? Oh, wait, there's a question. I think there's a question or somebody's just saying, yep, yourself. Okay.
Professor, I uploaded it just like an hour ago, the week 14
good.
assignment.
Oh, good. So you got that done. Doesn't that feel good? You have it done?
Yeah, it's one thing I had less to worry about.
Yeah, that's what I would. I really appreciate, not appreciate. I really I don't know what the right word is right now. Care about people's stress level, and it's different if I'm teaching. You know, what is it? One of them? I don't know, but it's drugs, prescription drugs, pharmacology. I taught that once, and that you need to be very precise and detailed where the dot is and the numbers and megagrams and decagrams or whatever. So then that's very nerve wracking. This is good. I'm glad you did that. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, so I'm just going to be playing videos. You have told me before, and I've listened, that the sound doesn't come over very good. So I'm going to have the the words below the closed caption going. And I'm hoping that you'll take this time to do an assignment or two. All right. So I got to pull up the PowerPoint because I not deleted it, but I sent it back. So we're gonna, this is, I think, one of the best ones you can have for motivation. And we're gonna play this one. And Carol DeWeek is her name. And I'm going to make sure that the closed captions come out. It says English. That's what I want. Start it. I will make it so there's no sound.
The power of yet.
Yeah, there's closed captions.
High school in Chicago, where
there you go.
To pass a certain number of courses to graduate. And
oh, I got a screen share, don't I? Yeah, I didn't do that screen share. No, I'm not putting this. Where's my screen share? There it is. All right, I'm getting it as some chat. Yeah, Elizabeth. Okay, screen share. Okay. Hopefully you can see that. Remember, you're only going to have closed captions.
I heard about a high school in Chicago where students had to pass a certain number of courses to graduate, and if they didn't pass the course, they got the not yet. And I thought that was fantastic because if you get a failing grade, you say, I'm nothing, I'm nowhere. But if you get the grade not yet,
I'm right here.
understand that you're on a learning curve. It gives you a path to the future. Not yet also gives you insight into a critical event early in my career, a real turning point. I wanted to see how children cope with challenge and difficulty. So I gave 10-year-olds problems that were slightly too hard for them. Some of them reacted in a shocking positive way. They said things like, I love the challenge. Or, I was hoping this would be informative. They understood that their ability could be developed. They had what I call a growth mindset. But other students felt it was tragic, catastrophic, from their more fixed mindset perspective. Their attention had been up for judgment and they failed. Instead of luxuriating in the power of net, they were gripped in the tyranny of now. So what did they say? I'll tell you what they said. In one study,
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I gotta hit escape. Hit escape. New share. Okay. I think that we can call it, or you might, can you hear me? Okay. I think that we can call it a day. Now, anybody have any questions about that? Let's stop sharing. Okay. I think it's a day. It's 3:00. Hopefully you've all submitted your assignments. How about everybody have the most fun, the best Thanksgiving ever? All right. Hey, Mackenzie, best. Oh, it's Elizabeth. Okay. So I can't hear anybody, but you guys,
Thank you, Professor.
you guys know what a turkey fly is? Did anybody have a turkey fly yet? Okay, it's a tradition in my family, young ones. You take the turkey before it's in the oven. Give each kid like a pot and a pan and a spoon or something to make music. And you take the turkey before it goes in the oven, and it's not in the baking pan or the whatever you call that pan, and you carry it around your house. And the kids follow like it's a parade. It's called the turkey fly. And they have to be like probably under 6 or 7 years of old. All the neighborhood's kids came into my house when I had this turkey fly. They came over one time at 6:30 in the morning because I told everybody about the turkey fly. And now they do it. And my kids, grandkids do it. So make sure you do the turkey fly. Have a great time. We'll see you later. See you next week when you're all full of turkey. Okay?
Thank you.
Bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
Professor. Thank
And
you.
have a good
Bye,
best
thank
week
you.
ever. All right? Get all the assignments in. Okay. Bye. Bye. End meeting.